Today we'll be going through a character build to reveal the Dragon Disciple and their many forms they can take, whether through the physical prowess, arcane skill, or embodying the dragon through transformation. Hi, I'm Yovel and I'll be going through core features of the build and discuss the decisions why they were chosen. We are starting with a family of red kobolds, all enlightened by Dahak, the endless destruction, to become the sole disciple in his machinations. Thus a race occurred between the siblings, all who aimed to become Dahak's disciple. The family are all spell-scaled kobolds. As they are red chromatic kobolds, their chosen innate spell is Produce Flame. The first level feat is Dragon's Presence, allowing each kobold to exemplify the pride and blind faith they will be chosen by Dahak. But deep down, they all have fears and doubt that when the time comes, they will be tossed aside, or worse, killed off for not meeting his expectations. At 9th level, we have Dracomancer, allowing each kobold to select Charm, Rave Enfeeblement, or True Strike as their first level innate spell, and Comprehend Language, Resist Energy, and See Invisibility as their second level innate spell. Level 13 with Elite Dracomancer allows the kobolds to select Grease, Haste, or Mind Reading as their third level innate spell, and Crushing Despair, Invisibility, and Stone Skin as their fourth level innate spell. The kobolds all have the blessed background granted by Dahak. Through his guidance, he pulls the strings of fate and manipulates their destiny. The False Worm, Sorrow Maker, the Endless Destruction, and the Great Darkness. All titles that refer to Dahak, son of Apsu and Tiamat. The patron god of chromatic dragons has plans and given his monikers, whichever kobold is selected to be his disciple, their acts will be quickly known to the world. When the time is right, Dahak will assess the surviving kobolds in a number of trials to determine who is selected. The trials will be determined on their physical, magical, and dragon instincts. We have 4 kobolds that have survived and we'll review each one individually before being assessed in front of Dahak. The first is the Dragon Instinct Barbarian. The feats of physical prowess and augmentations allow them to have great destructive force. Dragon's Rage Breath at level 6 allows the kobolds to deal a 30-foot cone of fire damage, dealing 1d6 damage per level, while it weakens to a 15-foot cone of fire damage, dealing 1d6 damage per 2 levels if used within an hour of each other. The feat Second Wind can assist with allowing our first kobold to use it in combat twice before penalties apply. Dragon's Rage Wings at level 12 gives the first kobold the ability to fly. In addition, when the duration of this ability ends, the kobold will fall to the ground with ever-shrinking wings that disappear once they have touched the ground. Fast movement allows the first kobold to fly at greater speeds when Dragon's Rage Wing is activated. And lastly, Dragon's Transformation. Using the Barbarian's Master Proficiency in Unarmored Defense, Master Proficiency with their attack modifier, and extra damage from Rage gives our first kobold an edge over their siblings. The second kobold decided to go down the path of magic and became a draconic sorcerer, delving into the arcane arts innate to dragons to become a powerhouse in the future. We gained the Dragon Claws focus spell at first level, which deals additional fire damage at higher levels due to how the spell heightens, but primarily sorcerers are not a frontline character. Choosing Dangerous Sorcery at second level to empower the spells to deal additional damage to foes. The Advanced Bloodline at level 6 enables the second kobold to gain access to Dragon Breath. Its damage progression is similar to the first kobold's Barbarian's Dragon's Rage Breath and requires focus points to use in combat. At level 10, we get access to the Greater Bloodline feat, granting us Dragon Wings. These wings allow the kobold to fly at 60 feet per action, and if the spell ends whilst in the air, the effects of Featherfall activate until our kobold lands on the ground. This increases our focus pool to 3, allowing multiple uses of the wings or Dragon's Breath in a given situation. The spellcasting features of the Draconic Bloodline also grants the second kobold additional spells, including Dragon Form, and as a sorcerer, their signature spells can be used at higher spell slots without penalty to their number of known spells. Bloodline Perfection gives it access to an additional 10th level spell slot in hopes of reaching the pinnacle in terms of destruction and chaos. At 20th level, our second Kobold's Dragon's transformation is slightly behind their Barbarian sibling. Our third Kobold decided to become an actual Dragon Disciple. Starting off as a monk, we have options such as Flurry of Blows and 1-inch Punch. Claws of the Dragon, while not receiving additional damage from Rage or Fire, takes advantage of the Monk's class features as mentioned previously. Our Kobold is able to get access to Breath of the Dragon, Wings of the Dragon, and Shape of the Dragon to realize their draconic form. As well as outside Polymorph, Disciple's Breath further improves on the Sorcerer's Dragon Breath by increasing the damage and exchanging the focus point expenditure for a 1d4 recharge timer. At 20th level, our third Kobold's Dragon's transformation looks different again compared to the first two siblings. And the fourth Kobold, our last remaining sibling. They have gone with a mixture, starting with our Barbarian and then undertaking the Sorcerer dedication. Moment of Clarity at level 1 will allow the last Kobold to use actions with a Concentrate trait, which includes spells with the verbal components during Rage. Basic Bloodline Potency enables access to dangerous sorcery feat, empowering their spells to deal additional damage. In addition to the Dragon's Rage Breath, Wings, and Transformation, our fourth Kobold will also learn the Basic, Expert, and Master Sorcerer spellcasting feats to gain access to spell slots up to level 8. At 20th level, our fourth Kobold's Dragon's transformation will be the same as their first sibling, the Pure Barbarian. And finally, the time has arrived where Dahak has gathered the remaining Kobolds together to test their prowess in a number of different trials. Each Kobold will be scored comparatively to the other based on the difference, so during each trial, Kobolds can receive between 1 to 4 points depending if there is a clear division of skill. The first is a test of raw strength in their Kobold form. Both the first and last Kobold does well on the test due to their martial skills as Barbarians, dealing additional damage from their Rage. The third Kobold performs a flurry of blows to increase the number of strikes and applying their weapon specialization damage. Finally, the second Kobold does their best with their Dragon Claws. The second test is one of magic to deal with the most devastation to an area. The first Kobold is disappointing, only able to cast the level 4 spell Crushing Despair due to the Elite Darkomancer ancestry feat. The second Kobold demonstrates their capacity to cast level 10 spells, including heightened Meteor Swarms. The third Kobold can perform the key spell Shadow Web, which is heightened to 10th level. Lastly, the fourth Kobold only has access to level 8 spells and does their best with spells like Polar Ray. Here, each demonstrate their Dragon's Breath. The first and fourth Kobold demonstrate their impressive might of the Barbarian's Dragon Breath, but eventually falter in repeated attempts as they are limited by their Rage. The second Kobold is able to persist for longer, but they too eventually peter out. The third Kobold's Dragon Breath is able to be repeated indefinitely, but have varying recovery times. Next is the ability to fly. All four Kobolds unfurl their dragon wings and take to the sky. As seen, the Bloodline wings surpass the wings of Rage with their innate 60-foot movement speed. And finally, the dragon forms. Two Kobolds roar in rage, transforming into fierce dragons, while two empowered by innate arcane magic morph into standard red dragons. In the Battle of Titans, eventually it is clear that the fiercer two dragons have overwhelmed their siblings through impressive attacks. Dahak has noticed one of the weaker kobolds is able to outmaneuver, was harder to hit, and performed more dragon breaths following impressive strikes. With this, Dahak lines all 4 kobolds and is ready to make his decision. While the first kobold is removed, as well as physical prowess in both his kobold and draconic form were impressive, they failed in the magical abilities which dragons are known for. The second kobold was also removed. Their weaker physical strength and vitality left them to be a liability, as they had limited means of surviving an onslaught or an ambush. The third and fourth kobolds made up for the first and second's weaknesses due to their archetypes. Dahak would eventually choose the third kobold. While it lagged behind in the physical aspects, it was able to contribute to a battle of attritions and hidden tactics to lay siege to Golarion, whether as a kobold or dragon. And here we have a summary of all the chosen feats for each kobold discussed in today's video. In addition, character sheets for the 4 kobolds in the description box below. Thank you for watching. If you'd enjoyed today's video, leave a like and subscribe. Also comment your thoughts on which dragon disciple you would have chosen below. Till next time.